Thank you. I was not prepared to be intro to the stage, just so I cut you out because I was sitting in the front row. But anyway, thank you, everyone. My name's Corey Sheridan, lead the TikTok music team, and very excited for this conversation we're going to have today with an amazing emerging artist, Sadie Jean. Would you like to come up to the stage? Hello. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Awesome. I'm doing great. So I was just having a conversation with my colleague Tim about how I had some flight troubles yesterday, and I ended up watching like an hour and a half of your videos.
Thank you.
So I think I want to start just by saying, like, I noticed in 2020 was like when you downloaded the app. Is that right?
Yeah. Or I think it was like 2019. All my friends were doing the dances, like the Renegade and stuff. And that's when I got it, just because they were all doing it. I wasn't very good at the dancing part, but yeah. And then I started posting stuff in 2020.
Got it. And then when was it that you started actually finding your creativity on the app?
It was COVID, I think. Yeah, because I remember I did a cover of Dixie D'Amelio's.
You did a couple of them, did you?
Yeah, I did a few. But she did a song like "Wanna Be Happy," I think is what it's called, and I like made it sad, and then it went viral, and I was like, okay, like I can keep posting. Yeah.
Yeah. So after you did that, I think I saw there was a couple other covers that you did. The two that jump out to my mind were "Super Lonely" by Benny, and then "Savage Love" by Jason Derulo.
Yeah.
Were you, like, those also happen to be like two really massive songs on TikTok at the moment.
Yeah.
Were you finding like inspiration by what was happening in the app, and was that kind of helping you in your creative process?
Yeah. So I was on TikTok all the time, and those different sounds were on my For You page just all day. So they were stuck in my head all day, and they were just engraved, and I was like, what if I made them different? And I think it would be cool for other people to hear them differently, because everyone on the app had been hearing them like over and over. So yeah, that's kind of what inspired me to switch them up.
Got it. And then I also happened to notice that the more you were creating content and like creating covers, that you were getting a really strong reaction from the community. Like, people were like really loving what you were doing and commenting. And I noticed you were getting in the comments too and responding to them. Like how are you using that function of the app as a way to cultivate your community?
Yeah, so it's super cool to connect with so many people that you don't know and you would never connect with otherwise, and also just other artists. That's been like a huge thing for me, is like following other artists and like discovering other people that I'm super inspired by now. And when they would comment on my stuff, being like, this is a great song, and it's like a new level of validation to be like, oh, they like my music and I like their music. But yeah, I love being in the comments like all the time. It's so fun, and like just it's so cool that I can meet new people and like make friends online. It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it really is a platform for everyone, right?
Seriously.
It's a way that you as an individual can really express your creativity and start to find people that are like-minded, and like they're going to be engaging with your content and in commenting back to them. That kind of like helps create like a little bit of your community and foster that.
Definitely.
One thing I definitely noticed too is that there seemed to be like a point in time where you were creating a lot of covers that were like what we discussed, where it was like kind of things that were coming up and trending in the For You feed. But then you broke away from that, and you seem to be creating stuff that, I don't know, maybe you were just personally into. Some of the songs that come to mind is, I know you did a couple Coldplay songs. There was a couple Katy Perry songs.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I think at that point I was in college, freshman year at NYU, and it was also still COVID, and I was so bored all the time, stuck in my dorm room. And so it just became about me wanting to sing my favorite songs, and less about what I was seeing other people do. So yeah, I was just singing like my favorite songs, and then I would start posting original stuff, kind of like not as much because it scares me to post my own stuff, but yeah, it just became more about like what I wanted to do rather than like, oh, this is trending, like I'm gonna hop on the trend. But yeah, definitely.
Awesome. There was one video. Well, I noticed that there's a couple covers, and we kind of touched on this with the Dixie track. There was a couple songs that you seem to do, like a couple different versions of it. Iris by Goo Goo Dolls, I think, was one of them. But then someone like actually like made a comment of like how much it resonated with them, and they're like, "Please, will you do an ABBA song?" And then like I noticed that you did do an ABBA cover. So
Yeah,
was
I forgot
like,
about that.
was that something that was inspired by your fans?
Yeah, totally. I get comments all the time that are like, cover this song, or yeah. So definitely, I do remember seeing that and being super excited to cover that song. For that person, and also because I was like, yeah, that song's sick.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I do want to just plug for the group. My favorite was Dr. Dog, by the way. They're one of my personal favorites. So the version that you did was fantastic on that.
Thank you.
So if you guys check her out and check out her version of that song. Let's back up a little bit real quick and like let's just talk about like your musical upbringing. Like, can you give us a bit about like what your introduction was to music? And, like, what age were you, and like what inspired you to go down that path?
Yeah, so basically, it goes back as far as I can remember. Like, I was a car child. Like, since I lived in a suburb, we were just always in the car, like running errands with my mom. And I had two older siblings that were always like needing to go to soccer practice or school or whatever. So I was just always in the car, like listening to the radio. And that is like where when I like look back, that's my biggest influence, like Katy Perry, Taylor Swift, like whatever was on the radio early 2000s. And before I could even like speak, according to my mom, I don't remember this, I would like make up songs, just like little tunes, and then I would be in the car and I would make my mom, and then I learned to talk, and then I would be like, Mom, turn off the radio, like this is my time, I'm gonna make up songs. And I would just make up songs in the car and like make her not play the radio. And then I eventually learned how to write, and then I could write my songs down, and I was taking piano lessons, so I would compose them and match melodies with chords, and then I just kept doing that every day. I have songs from like my whole life.
So piano was the first instrument for you.
Yes.
Beyond learning how to write songs.
Yes.
Before you could speak.
Yeah, I love piano. I took like piano certificate of merit. I don't know if any of you guys did that, but it's a very like intense piano program. I did that for like 6 years, and yeah, I fell in love with it very quickly.
Awesome. And then when were you introduced to the guitar? Was that something that came after you started, like, I guess, like recording content, or was that something prior to that?
I got my first guitar on my 16th birthday, and at that time I was still very, I guess I didn't mention this, but I was very secretive about how I like wrote songs. Like I didn't want anyone to know, because I don't know, it's I still get scared, like
it's a very personal thing.
It's so like vulnerable. But yeah, I got a guitar anyways and just kind of did it on my own. And then eventually I showed people, and then it was cool that I could do both instruments.
Yeah, wasn't there a video that you created where you're showing one of your friends for the first time of you singing, or was that meant to be a joke? I think you were singing Somewhere Over the Rainbow, and they like spilled water all over themselves or something like that.
Oh my gosh, yes. It was like my best friend, and I was like showing my boyfriend my song.
Right, that was the joke.
Not my boyfriend. I thought it was obviously a joke because he like spit out the water at the end, and I like dumped all the water on his head to make it look like he was crying. I don't know. It was really dumb. We were bored. This was like my.
He did look like he was crying at the end, by the way, but I think he might have been mad.
Yeah, and then oh my gosh, yeah, that was so funny. No, that was supposed to be a joke.
Got it. Okay. Maybe taking it back to some of the things that you used on TikTok. Like I noticed that there are kind of like more or less a pattern of the way that you were creating like videos, right, for all your covers and eventually your original music too, where it wasn't just creating the cover itself, but you were also thoughtfully having the lyrics come up so that way anyone who was engaging with it, they could understand what you were singing and understand what's going on. I think at some stage you're using like the rain effect too.
Yeah.
Were those things that you thoughtfully thought about and the way you wanted to present your creativity to the audience?
Totally. I mean, it's all about like capturing their attention. And for me, when I'm watching, it's all like everything that I make is like, what would I want to watch, basically. So it's like fun since I'm such a songwriter. Like I want to see the lyrics and I want to like get into the lyrics and really analyze them. So I always put the lyrics. The rain effect was just me being dramatic, but yeah, I like the drama, so that's why I did that too. But yeah, everything is. Some things though aren't thought out at all, and I'm just like posting because I'm bored. But definitely lyrics. I'm a lyric person. I want to see lyrics.
But I think that that's important to note too, right? Because it's like you started to, I guess, said differently, right? Like you have a concept that you were using to express your creativity. And that helped you kind of foster an audience, and you became, I guess, accustomed to creating content in that way. But then if you just want to be more authentic, which is the key here to TikTok and really to all ways of being creative is being authentic, just going off the cuff and trying new things. And I think as an artist, that's super important because you need to constantly be experimenting and improvising with your ideas and the way you want to show your creativity.
Yeah. I mean, it's supposed to be fun. As soon as TikTok isn't fun, then I don't...
It's time to take a break.
Yeah, just take a break. But yeah, when I'm posting on TikTok, I'm trying to have fun.
Great. Awesome. We talked a little bit about going live earlier today, right, when we were walking in here. And you were sharing with me that that's now becoming another way for you to not only just like reach your audience, but also seem like to rehearse to prepare for your shows. Can you maybe tell the audience a little bit about how you're utilizing that feature?
Yeah. So when I'm practicing for a show, I'll just like always go live, just because it's good practice for me to know people are watching me, and also like getting their feedback. And like I'll play a new song. Like sometimes I'll write a song and then 2 minutes after I'll be like, I'm gonna go live and see what people think. And it's like really helpful for me to know like what people like, what they maybe don't. Yeah, so I try to go live as much as possible just 'cause it's like fun. It's way more personal. Like I can literally have conversations with people that are commenting, and they can request songs and I'll like sing what they request. And then since I'm going live before every performance, like practicing, people know my like unreleased songs, which is so crazy, and they'll be like, play Hate Me or like play Laundry Room. These are songs that aren't out, and I'll be like, what? Like I've only done these on live, and you guys just like, they just keep coming back to watch when I go live. It's like really cool.
That's amazing. I think your brother was mentioning that the last time you went live, it was like 26,000 people that came.
Oh my God. Yeah, so I did this thing before my song, What Are You Doing Now, came out. I posted on TikTok and I was like, I'm going to leak my song at 4 p.m. like Eastern Standard Time. And I did that like 3 hours before going live, and the video kind of went viral. And so everybody like pulled up to my live stream at 4 p.m. and it was crazy. And I played the song, and then everyone was like, play it again, play it again. And then I played it again, and I was like, play it again. I ended up playing the song like 3 times or like 4 times or something on the live stream. And yeah, like it had a total of like 26,000.
That's kind of like the Watch the Throne vibe. There's an infamous Kanye Jay-Z performance where they played a song 11 times in a row.
Really?
So you're taking a page after some of the greatest in the world. So good work on that. Let's talk a little bit about where are you now? And I need to get the stats right because this is just absolutely mind-blowing to me. So I need to go to the paper here.
Yes.
So this was released on December 10th, 2021.
Yes.
At that point in time, you didn't have anything released on Spotify or Apple Music. At present, you have 2.7 monthly active listeners on Spotify. You have 40 million streams of this singular song. On Apple Music, you have 19 million streams. On YouTube, you have 2.9 video views. On TikTok, you have over 150 video views and 121,000 creations associated to this one track. For the charts, you peaked at number 9 in US Viral 50 charts for Spotify, and number 20 in the global Viral 50 charts, and then you also peaked at 81 on the official charts in the UK. That is an incredible feat.
I didn't
So
even know.
yeah, honestly, you should, yes, please.
Thanks.
Wow. That's
I know.
fantastic.
Jeez, yeah. I hadn't heard a lot of those numbers yet, so that's
Yeah.
crazy.
Sorry to catch you off guard.
That's so wild. Yeah. Whoa.
Yeah. So, and I know that like going back to the content that I've seen you creating, like, yes, you have a ton of covers and you're expressing your creativity in that regard, but you also have a bunch of other original material that just hasn't been released yet.
Yeah.
Can maybe give the audience a little bit of a sense of like, where are you in that process of like recording your follow-up singles, your next project? What does that look like for you?
Yeah, so I didn't even think that What Are You Doing Now would be the first song to come out for my project. I thought I had better ones. So when it went viral, I was like, okay, I'm down. Like, I do really like this song, and I love that song. But I have so many other songs that I have had for a while before even writing that one, and then since that's come out, I've been like in the studio all the time, trying to get a project finalized and together, and I'm like so excited. I think people are really gonna like it. Yeah, I'm very excited and proud of how
Awesome.
it's coming.
That's great. That's great. And then in terms of like, excuse me, in terms of like how you package that up for your performance, right? Like you have a full set. You said you're performing. You're already performing during this week, and you have maybe a couple other performances, including today, coming up too. Like, what does your set look like at present? Is it a 30-minute set, 45-minute set?
Yeah. So I did. It's like last night I did a 30-minute set. I could do like the longest that I've done is like an hour, but it's not as like good. But yeah.
Stretching it thin.
Yeah. But yeah, I love performing, and like it's fun when I did an Orange County show. I'm from Orange County, so it was like my hometown show, and it's my first real show. And I think, how long was that? Like 45 minutes? An hour? Oh, okay. An hour is good, yeah. Okay. So I did an hour set, and it was like I have upbeat songs, and I had like a band, and so it was really fun, and everyone like was super into it. But then last night I did an acoustic, like just me set, and that's like much more intimate, much more sad, and like the songs are sad. But yeah, it's super fun to like try out new things too, see what people like. Just like the live streams, it's like testing things out.
Yeah, and then when I guess to explore something that I was thinking about when you were giving that response was that when you're performing your live original songs on TikTok, whether it's through live stream or just creating videos, are you utilizing that as a way to like demo or like A&R your own demos and kind of aid in the songwriting process?
For sure. Yes. It's so cool that you can just post something and it takes like 5 minutes, and then you can see what works and what doesn't, and you don't have to go through the process of like putting it out and doing all that
Or
hard
performing it in
work,
front of a live
performing it in
audience.
front of a live audience. Yeah, you can just post it and then see if it goes viral. Like that's what I did with What Are You Doing Now. The day after we wrote it, I posted a video of me playing it out loud, and then it went viral, and then I just kept posting it, and then it kept going. So yeah, it's like the perfect platform to just test out your songs or your product.
Also, so in your songwriting process, you're finding your inspiration. You're probably starting to think about structure, verse, chorus, whatever that is. And then are you then intentionally taking it to TikTok and then taking that, I guess, A&R demo process back? Or is that just kind of coming off the cuff sometimes? I guess the question I'm asking is it like a standard process for you to use that platform to help create your songs, or is that just something that you're also additionally finding inspiration from?
Yeah. I mean, I think it would be hard for me to post something and then look at the feedback and go back and rewrite it. I think that would be like really I'm so indecisive, so that would not be a good idea for me. But I will write it fully like how I want it to be, and then put a snippet, and then I'll know if this does well, then I can go get it produced and I can like commit to this being a song that comes out.
Got it. So it's more about getting like testing the market,
Yeah.
right? It's like getting it put together and then bringing it to market and then getting, I guess, like validation maybe, or like a stamp of approval. Like my fans are resonating with this because I'm getting like the reaction that you're hoping to get.
For sure. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. I guess the next thing that I want to think about is just, or talk about, right, is that when we think about where you are with where are you now and then all your new music that's coming out, you must be getting a lot of attention right now. Is that an accurate statement?
I do feel like I'm getting a lot of attention. I'm doing a panel. This is crazy.
Welcome to South by Southwest 2022. Beyond just like attention that you're getting from the market, like what does that look like for you in terms of like performances? Like, are you starting to get out and tour more? Do you have any key performances that are coming up in the next couple months that maybe you want to talk to the audience about and let everyone know?
Yes, you guys should all come. I'm performing at the Mercury Lounge May 7th. Yes. I'm doing Summerfest. When is that? June. And then the Firefly Festival in September.
That's really big.
I know, that's crazy.
It's really big. And you released your first song in December 2021.
Yes.
That's awesome. That is a huge, huge feat. One other thing that we talked about, you were on the morning show a few weeks back.
Yes.
You talk about that experience for everyone?
Yeah, so CBS did a segment on me, like a full segment. They interviewed me, they filmed a session I was in, they came into my show, filmed my show. I sent them like every baby photo of me that has ever existed. And yeah, they did a whole like thing. It was so cool talking about how TikTok did all the things TikTok did in the open verse challenge. And yeah, it's so crazy. It's on YouTube. You guys can watch.
Awesome. Let's check that out. Open verse challenge. Let's talk about this a little bit.
Yeah.
So for those, well, maybe I'll have you introduce it. Like I can kind of color it in. Can you explain to the audience what open verse challenge is?
Yes. So an open verse challenge is you sing a part of your song and then leave a verse open for other creators to create on it and make their own verse. And so I did one for my song. And I didn't expect anyone to do it. I literally texted my sister, like right after I posted, I was like, can you please just make some type of video to this? Because I don't want people to click on it and have 0 videos. Like, that's so embarrassing. But then people did it, and it was so crazy. Yeah, but that's what the challenge is.
Yeah, and so for the audience too, I guess to know is like this is becoming an increasingly popular way for artists to find or demo their songs, but also find new artists to join them. Just thinking as of recently, there's one open verse challenge that netted a very popular song from the artist Russ. He did an open verse challenge for his song Handsomer, and another artist named Caitlin Raps responded to that. He ended up putting this out, and it went #1 on Apple Music chart. Is that right? And then what was the result for Spotify again, Alex? Number one. We'll just say #1. All right. But we have artists from all walks of like their career and their where they're at in their careers doing this too. So you have on the one side of the spectrum, you have Russ, you have Charlie Puth that's doing this. On the other side of the spectrum, you have Sadie Jean. You have a number of emerging artists that are doing this, and it's becoming an increasingly common and popular way for artists to not only find their audience, but also create more content and create more songs out of this. So out of your open verse challenge, do you remember how many responses or videos that were created against What Are You Doing Now? Or I should say, people responding to it, creating their own verse?
I don't know the number. Over 20,000.
Over
Really?
20,000.
Yes. That's so crazy.
Have you watched them all?
I feel like I have. I've spent so many hours watching them. I don't think that I technically have, but oh my gosh, I've watched so many, and they're all so funny and good, and I'm obsessed.
Yeah, and you guys have some of it's uploaded to your SoundCloud, right?
Oh yeah. we compiled like 15 or something of my favorite ones and made like a 10-minute version inspired by Taylor Swift, who I'm in love with. And yeah, so that's on SoundCloud. It's, yeah, because there's just so many good ones. And yeah, you should watch it, listen to it.
When you are going through and you're seeing how, you know, your fans and other artists are reacting to this, what have you been most inspired by from the creations that other artists are doing against your specific song? Is it when you see something that's similar to the way you create music, or if it's something that's a direct juxtaposition of the way you create songs?
I mean, it's both. When I see someone do something that feels like something more my style, I'm like, oh, I wish I did that for the song. Or if someone did something completely different that is not like my niche of songwriting, I'm just like in awe, and it is super inspiring, and like, yeah, it just makes me want to be more creative and try new things, like musically, for sure.
That's awesome. Has that also become like another avenue for you to, for lack of a better way of saying, like network and expand like your own community and songwriters or artists that you're connecting with? Is that another?
Yes, I feel like I've had conversations with so many really cool artists from them doing my challenge, which is really cool. Like Lil Yachty did one.
What?
Yes.
Okay, I missed that one. I need to figure that one out.
Yeah, so I mean that was really cool, and yeah, a ton of artists that I like have been following for a while or like other artists that I'm just discovering. So it's a cool way to meet people.
That's awesome. Yeah, I noticed too when I was spending my time in an airport, like watching all your videos, that after your open verse challenge, it almost seemed like a lot of the people that were commenting on your subsequent videos were other artists that maybe you weren't connected with, but now are starting to generate, you know, a community around. Yeah. Has TikTok, you know, and you're expressing your creativity and you engaging with the comments, has this been a way for you to actually create your artist community that you're involved in? Definitely,
for sure. I mean, it's created so many collaborations for me that I'm super excited about. Yeah, it's so cool that we can, and it's cool because like the For You page, it's for me, and so all of the things that I'm watching are like my whole For You page is just other artists too, and so like when I see other people do open verse challenges, like I will follow and like look through all the open verses on that sound, and I'm so in it. I love watching all the other artists.
That's awesome. I'm realizing that I totally spaced on something that I was supposed to say at the beginning, which is that if you guys do want to submit questions, that you could submit them through the app. Is that right? Yeah, through the app. And then we'll be doing a short Q&A and a performance too by Sadie Jean. So
cool.
I'm trying to think if we covered a lot of ground here so far. Like we talked about how you found your creative voice, how you found your community, and how you've really started to generate what seems like your future in music in such a short period of time.
Yes.
Is there anything else that maybe you wanted to explore on those subjects for the audience today?
I mean, I guess like if I were to give advice, like if anyone, because what happened to my song was crazy, and I would never have expected any of it. And I think the reason, I mean, I'm kind of guessing. It felt miraculous, but I think the reason that it worked is like the authenticity, and like I was just excited about the song, and then other people happen to be excited about it too. And yeah, I think it's just important to, like I kind of said earlier, have fun with it, because when it gets to like comparing yourself to other artists or like numbers and all that stuff, that gets like really hard. So I would just say like have fun with it, because it's an app.
Yeah, that's the key. The key is definitely to enjoy yourself, have fun, and more importantly, to be authentic and show your authenticity. One other thing that I think you and I talked about when we first met a few weeks back was just like some of the pressures that artists, like once they start going viral and have moments on TikTok, that then creates pressures, particularly from the industry. And I think you and I were talking about like mental health and like why it's important to not respond to those pressures. And really, again, like if you're not having fun, it's time to take a break.
Yeah.
You know, it's really important that you
Definitely.
cannot force these things. And I just wanted to maybe just hear from your words. The audience probably wants to hear from your words. Like, what was your experience and like how did you react and kind of like, I guess, manage some of those external pressures?
Yeah. I mean, it's really stressful to have, like, I don't ever want to complain about, like, oh, my song went viral. Like, that's so dumb. But it is scary. I mean, the thing of the spotlight effect has been a thing my whole life where I'm always like, everyone's watching me and this is so embarrassing. And then when people actually were watching me, I was just like, oh my God, I don't know how to deal with this at all. So yeah, I think it's important to just not take it super seriously. So yeah.
That's really sound advice for everyone. All right, so we do have a couple questions up here that we're going to start going through here. So this one's from, and apologies if I mispronounce anyone's name. It's a little hard for me to see, and I may mispronounce your name. So the first question's from Martin Gunderson, and the question is, what levers do TikTok use to cultivate and amplify up-and-coming and already established artists? This is a really good question. So, and there's a lot of answers to this. So on the music side, we're kind of set up in an interesting way where we have partnerships across the industry, both directly with artists, management teams, digital marketers, labels, distributors, publishers, what have you. We have a marketing team, we have a programming team. Programming basically handles what we do within the app, as well as like what is our TikTok music presence off the app. For example, like we have our own SiriusXM radio station. We have, playlists on Spotify, Apple Music, what have you. And so one of the other pieces that we're hyper aware of is the data. We spend almost every single day looking at what's moving in the app and understanding those trends and where they're coming from and trying to figure out what's the best way to amplify those trends. And we amplify them through our marketing efforts. We amplify them through our programming efforts in the app. We amplify them through our social channels too as well. So that's like, I guess, a very high level way of saying it. But when we're looking at trends that are happening kind of in real time, we're reacting very quickly to that to make sure that those things are coming to life within the app as quickly as possible, because that's where we see the community engaging, and that's what's most important. So for us, that's pretty much how we do that. Beyond just that, and that's really specific to repertoire. When we think about artists in general, we have a number of programs that we have in place. So our artist partnerships team now has a monthly webinar that they're setting up. And if you guys want access to that, you can come talk to me after the fact, where they're doing best practices. We're building tools to actually bring it out to the community too. We recently launched the Creator Portal about 1.5 years ago. That's publicly available both within the app as well as on the website. And about a month ago, we recently launched an artist-specific section within the Creator Portal. And that is going to be an area we're going to continue to invest in and build more tools. And the goal there being is that we want to make sure that we're actually providing tools that work across the board, but then tools that also work within specific niches or genres or communities. So that's going to be something that we're going to be developing probably in perpetuity. So those are some of the ways that we're doing it at the stage now. And that's going to continue to evolve and develop over time. The radio station is something we're really excited about. This was a partnership with SiriusXM that began late last year. It's quickly becoming one of their top performing stations. We have a great working relationship with Sirius, so they are always down to bring artists in to do liners, and we're always down to do liners for artists too as well. And we also work with the creator community to actually come and be hosts for the station. And that's great for artists because once you actually have the creator community co-signing an artist, that's when they really start to take off, and that's incredibly important. So that's an area we're going to continue to evolve as time goes on too. Cool. Next question is from Annalisa Alba. and this one's for you. It is, where do you see Sadie Jean in 10 years?
I mean, my biggest criteria is that I'm still making music. I don't know like exactly what that will look like, but I want to have a lot more songs out. I only have one out right now, so I want to have hopefully like
One very big
few
song.
albums. um, thanks. But yeah, I want to be putting out music. I also really, I mean, I kind of thought originally that I would take the route of like a Julia Michaels, where I become a songwriter first and like establish myself as a songwriter first and write for other artists. So I want to do that more. The song came out, so I've been doing more artist things, but I want to like really establish myself as a songwriter and artist. So hopefully I'll just be doing all things music.
Let's talk a little bit about that.
Okay.
Yeah. So songwriting, like I guess from where I sit now, right? Like, how do you balance the desire to be a songwriter versus being an artist? Like, how do you see that in like order priority for you?
Yeah. So I mean, songwriting always comes first, but for the songs to be heard, and especially the ones that are very personal and close to me, I need to sing them. So that's where the artist part comes in for me. But I mean, I wrote What Are You Doing Now with two of my best friends, Grace Anger and David Alexander. And we write like so many songs together. We'll just go on these weekend trips and write songs. And we'll try to always come out of it with each of us having our own song for our own artist project. So I'm super excited for the music that I have written on that is coming out on their projects. Yeah, I love writing songs for other artists. It's like a different gear of the brain, but it's like it's often better because then I'm not super pressured that this has to be my story and like 100% like autobiographical. So yeah, I love writing songs for other people.
That's awesome. So there are two other people. I'm sorry, what were their names again?
Grace Anger and David Alexander.
Awesome. And so for them in your trips, you guys are going out and doing songwriting for the three. Are you doing songwriting for other people as well?
Recently, we've been trying to do more pitch stuff, but that's a new thing for us. But definitely.
Got it. Okay. That's awesome. That's awesome. Mm-hmm. All right. Next question here is from Tommy Romano. And the question is, how have the more humorous duets and audios of What Are You Doing Now affected your experience with its rollout? Was this something that you had anticipated?
Oh my gosh. I did not anticipate it, but it was the best thing ever. I have so many. I would just watch videos over and over and over and duetted some of them. One of them was this guy who was popping popcorn at a movie theater and he just like sings in this really weird voice and it's so funny. I do edit it, it's on my page. But yeah, and then there's people that kind of did like joke verses like that were so funny. And I mean, I don't know how it affected the rollout of the song, but it definitely just improved my quality of life. Because it was just like so
it's all about
funny.
having fun. It's all about having fun.
Yeah, people were so like, people are just geniuses and so funny. And I did the cool thing about the open verse challenge is like everyone could collaborate on it. Like poets did poetry open verses, and there were comedians and rappers and singers and dancers and just like all types of people could add stuff to my song, which is crazy.
We noticed that there was one specific rapper, but we're not going to say who it was that did your open verse challenge.
Okay.
We're going to keep it quiet for everyone. So I don't think that there's any more questions. So from there, I think what we're going to do is I'm going to turn the stage over to Sadie Jean, and you're going to do a little performance for us.
Yes. Okay. I don't think so. Yeah. Cool. This one is called Laundry Room. Finally washed my clothes today. Used to smell like home, but it's healthier this way. 'Cause I've been sleeping in my jeans. I don't wanna be clean from you. So I'll just be picking up where we won't leave off. 'Cause I don't wanna get over you. I'm crying in the laundry room. Can we not do what exes do? I'm so sorry. I won't be trying to go and meet somebody new. Someone who looks just like you. No, I won't do what exes do. I'm so sorry. I won't be trying. I almost ordered your cologne. That obscure off-brand has been haunting my cell phone. Advertising you to me. How could I ever be clean from you? So I'll just keep picking up where we won't leave off. 'Cause I don't wanna get over you. I'm crying in the laundry room. Can we not do what exes do? I'm so sorry. I won't be trying to go and meet somebody new. Someone who looks just like you. No, I won't do what exes do. I'm so sorry. I won't be trying to get better. I'm not better without you. I'll stay hurt, no, I won't learn like I'm supposed to. 'Cause even if it isn't right, I'd rather hold on to goodbye. 'Cause I don't wanna get over you. I'm crying in the laundry room. Can we not do what exes do? I'm so sorry. I won't be trying to go and meet somebody new. Someone who looks just like you. No, I won't do what exes do. I'm so sorry. I won't be trying. Thank you. This next song is called You're Just Fine. I spent $80 on new Converse to forget you. I bet you still wear the pair I bought ya end of last June, like it doesn't mean anything to you. And I wish I knew how easy I would be to lose. I've been crying 24/7. Life without me looks like heaven, and I don't know how. You're just fine. You deleted all our pictures. I'm still grieving our whole future, and I don't know how. You're just fine not being mine. I know that your sister is still bitter that I'm not around, and you won't even tell her why we're over, 'cause you're way too proud to admit that it was all your fault. I know you're happy now, and I guess that's all that really counts. But I've been crying 24/7. Life without me looks like heaven, and I don't know how. You're just fine. You deleted all our pictures. I'm still grieving our whole future, and I don't know how. You're just fine not being mine. Not being mine. Not being mine. Okay, this is my last one. I'm gonna sing my only song that's out. It's called What Are You Doing Now on all platforms. I saw you in the back of my show last night, standing underneath the exit sign. I know it wasn't really you though, 'cause you were always in the front row. And I've been looking for love online, and maybe some of them are real good guys. They're never gonna be like you though. You set the bar above the moon, so I don't wanna be 20-something and still in my head about 17 in my bedroom talking. You said that by now we'd paint the walls of our shared apartment. You're still everything I want, and I think we could work it out. So what are you doing now? Now that you finally got the job you like, I'm making money off the songs I write. I know you said that I could call you. I wonder if you wanna call too. Now that the future doesn't feel so far, it doesn't seem as wrong to want what's ours. And after everything that's happened, I wanna put it in the past tense. 'Cause I don't wanna be 20-something and still in my head about 17 in my bedroom talking. You said that by now we'd paint the walls of our shared apartment. You're still everything I want, and I think we could work it out. So what are you doing now? Are you with somebody? Should I even care? No, you're not as happy as when I was there in your faded t-shirt that I've kept this long. I still hear you laughing when I put it on. I know I don't wanna be 20-something and still in my head about 17 in my bedroom talking. You said that by now we'd paint the walls of our shared apartment. You're still everything I want, and I think we could work it out. So what are you doing now? Thank you.